a law viewers and professionals and students in the accounting world and other professions. So this is your tutor, CPA Nochoy, who does continued sessions in accounting, that is financial reporting and advanced financial reporting. Remember that our sessions are ongoing, that is for the September to December semester. So we are entering in a crucial part, that is the topics which are mostly examined, and I would like that you join my online sessions at a very small cost, because now I can give you a program whereby you can be able to attend the major 4 topics at a very friendly cost, that is concerning for advanced financial reporting from the topic of group accounting, cash flow statements, reconstruction, and earnings per share, of which I can then provide additional videos to you. So for financial reporting, also there's the same package for the main topics. So you are highly welcome to the live classes which are ongoing, of which you can be able to contact me through my normal contact, that is 0728 760 546. So for today, I would like to look at a small area in the advanced financial reporting, which was tested in August 2022, which is just the previous sitting. So this is all about International Accounting Standards 36, that is IAS 36, impairment of assets. So the impairment of non-current assets, impairment of non-current assets. So impairment of non-current assets, International Accounting Standards 36. So there's a question which is in that sitting, that is question 2, August 2022. August 2022. That is from the course name, past papers, advanced financial reporting. So for the students who doesn't have the relevant past paper, I would be able to attach in this video the link to the past papers, so you can be able to download, so that when I will be reading at the same time you go through, so that you will be able to understand what is required of you. So let's read the question so that we can be able to do it. So the question says, B Limited operates a factory as its sole cash generating unit. During the year ended 30th April 2022, there was an explosion in the factory which necessitated an impairment review. So the carrying amount of factory assets was as follows. We have the goodwill, patents, machinery, computer equipment, premises. So you are given the figures there. Then the additional information, an impairment review revealed a net selling price of 19,200, that is 19,200,000, and a value in use of 31,200,000 for the factory. Number 2, a half of the machinery had been destroyed and have no resale value. Number 3, the patents have been superseded and are now considered worthless. Number 4, the company follows the cost model as permitted by International Accounting Standards 16, property, plants, and equipment. Required, discuss with suitable calculations how any impairment loss in the cash generating units could be accounted for in accordance with the International Accounting Standards 36, impairment of assets. So here they were in need of impairment. So you need to understand the formula used in the calculation of impairment, whereby you take the carrying amount minus the recoverable amount. So impairment is equals to what? So we always see that impairment loss is equals to carrying amount, you minus the recoverable amount, you minus the recoverable amount. So we know that the carrying amount is equals to what? The carrying amount is equals to cost. You deduct accumulated depreciation. Of which the recoverable amount is equals to fair value less cost to sell. Fair value, you deduct the cost to sell, or value in use, whichever is higher. So the fair value cost to sell, the value at which you can dispose the asset currently after deducting the disposal cost. Then the value in use, it's all about the future cash flows of the relevant assets discounted to their present values. So in this question, fair value less cost to sell is all about the net selling price, as they mentioned in that question. So they said that the net selling price, that is according to additional information number 1, an impairment review revealed a net selling price of 19,200 and a value in use of 31,200 for the factory. So net selling price of 19,200 and value in use of 31,200. So remember that the fair value less cost to sell is all about the value at which an asset can be disposed after deducting the disposal cost, which is the same as the net selling price, which is provided there in the question. So meaning that I was saying that recoverable amount is the fair value less cost to sell, which is the same as the net selling price, or value in use, whichever is higher. Since we have the net selling price, that is according to this additional information number 1 of 19,200. So we compare with the value in use. We compare with the value in use of 31,200. So 31,200. So between the two, the higher is 31,200. So that is what we have as our recoverable amount. So what is the carrying amount? So the carrying amount is provided. The carrying amount is provided. So the carrying amount is provided, whereby the total values of the assets given totals to 47,600. They total to 47,600. So if we take 47,600 minus the 31,200, I would be able to get the relevant value for the impairment. So 47,600 minus 31,200. So that is 16,400. So that is the 16,400. So that is our impairment for this equation. Then after getting the impairment, you have to do the allocation of this impairment to the assets you are given. So let's do the statement of impairment allocations to our assets. So whereby you always consider the goodwill and the other assets. So statement of impairment allocation. So statement of impairment allocation. Statement of impairment allocation. So the statement of impairment allocation. So remember that here we have the relevant assets. We have we talk about their carrying amounts. So after talking about the carrying amounts, then we talk about the impairments. So remember that the assets we have is all about goodwill. We have the goodwill. We have the patents. We have the machinery. We have the computer equipment. And we have the premises. So that is 2,000. We have 3,600. We have 4,000. We have the 8,000. We have the 30,000. So the total being 47,600. So remember that our impairment value was 16,400. So that is the one I need to allocate to the relevant assets we have here. So when allocating the impairment to the relevant assets, and on the scenario whereby you have your goodwill, so the goodwill would be impaired in full. The goodwill has to be impaired in full. Then to the other assets, we go with the information provided or on a pro rata basis. So like now here we have goodwill being allocated in full. Then checking in the additional information number 2 and 3, they said that the half of the machinery have been destroyed and have no resale value. So meaning that a half of this machinery was fully impaired. A half of this machinery was fully impaired. So meaning that here I could have said the one which is fully impaired and the others. So we have the 2000 and we have the 2000. So meaning that a half of the machinery is again fully impaired. Then the balance, I will use the pro rata basis. Then additional information number 3, the patents have been superseded and now considered valueless. So even the patents, they mean that it has been fully impaired. So that is according to the information provided. So obvious when you have goodwill and other assets. So for the goodwill, obvious, the impairment you allocate at the full value which is provided. Then to the other assets on pro rata basis, otherwise told. Like now, for the patents and a half of the machinery, they were very specific on how you are supposed to impair the two. So they said for the a half of the machinery have been destroyed and have no resale value, meaning that a half of the machinery had been fully impaired. The same way with patents in all the 3, that it has been superseded and now considered valueless. Then for the others now, remember that there was a half of the machinery which was not fully impaired, the computer equipment and the premises. So these ones, you allocate your impairment on a pro rata basis. So meaning that if you take the total value of the impairment, which we have already allocated, that is 2000 plus 3600 plus 2000, that is 7600. So the same way, the carrying amounts of the 3 assets totals to 7600. So the 2000 plus 3600 plus 2000, that is 7600. Then now, when allocating to the other assets, we use pro rata basis, meaning if I take 47,600 minus 7,600, and if I take 16,400 minus 7,600, so what are the balances we have on these scenarios? So 47,600 minus 7,600, that is 40,000. So here we have 40,000. We have the 40,000. Then if you take 16,400 minus 7,600, you get 8,800. And now let us allocate these 2,000, 8,000 and 30,000 to the balance of the impairment. So I will take 2,000, I divide 40,000 times what? Times 8,800. So if it's for the computer equipment, I will take 8,000, divide 40,000 times 8,800. Then for the 30,000, I will divide with 40,000 times 8,800. Remember that this is for the premises. So if I take 2,000, divide 40,000 times 8,800, so this one I'm getting 440. So that is what we take here. That is what we allocate to the balance of the machinery which was not impaired fully. Then for the computer equipment, so this one will be 1760. Then for the premises, this one will be 6,600. So that is how you are supposed to do this question for August 2022 question 2. It was question 2A. So now to determine the impairment, and you do the statement of impairment allocation to the various assets. So when you have goodwill, you allocate the goodwill in full value. So the full value is allocated to the impairment. So to the other assets on pro rata basis, otherwise specified. Like now for the patent, you were told that it's supposed to be impaired fully due to the statement which is provided, that is additional information number 3, that the patents have been superseded and now considered worthless. Half of the machinery, also there's information provided that it has been destroyed and have no resale value. So what I would like to say is that our live classes of the same kind are ongoing using the Zoom platform. And I've said that we are entering in the crucial topics which you can't miss if you want to pass your exams. So you are highly welcome to join. Just for more information, you can be able to reach me through the same platform, that is YouTube, Facebook, or another means, that is whereby I've attached my contacts to these videos. So welcome and have a great time, and thank you for the support you always provide.